there, this is Datila with the Rangers of Wrestling, bringing you the Wrestling Time post show. And for tonight, I will be reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so Monday Night Raw opened with the Bianca Belair segment. She was basically talking about that Rhea Ripley is no longer able to compete against Money in the Bank. Against her at Money in the Bank, she's not medically cleared. She won't be medically cleared to compete. That's what she said. So there's going to be a 5-way tonight. And as you guys know, opening segments to Monday Night Raw are sometimes predictable. You know where this is going. This segment kicked off the fatal 5-way match. Of course, Bianca's talking. Then Becky interrupts. Asuka interrupts. Liv Morgan, Carmella. You know, everybody that was in the match interrupted. And then that led into the fatal 5-way match. So my favorite spot in this match, actually I had two favorite spots in this match, was they both involving Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Alexa Bliss when she and Liv Morgan were spinning around doing that cradle roll, and then when Liv Morgan had Alexa Bliss tight in between, and she was spinning her around. So I thought those were two pretty cool spots. Surprise, surprise, Carmella ended up winning this after she hasn't been on TV since Sonya Deville was GM. So she won, and she's going to face Bianca at Money in the Bank. And then afterwards, we get a backstage segment with Becky Lynch basically arguing to Adam Pearce that she deserves to be at Money in the Bank. She's on the freaking poster. So he tells her that he can't just put her in the match. She has to qualify. So she faces up against Asuka in the main event of tonight's Raw. Then for whatever reason, Vince McMahon randomly comes out and he starts talking about how today is the 1500th episode of Monday Night Raw. And it's the longest running weekly episodic show. And that next week we will be celebrating 20 years of Cena, something that we've already known for weeks because WWE was announcing that. It was completely pointless for Vince McMahon to come out on Monday Night Raw and to say that. Completely pointless, especially with everything going on. You think he would want to make an appearance, but no, he made a pointless appearance. And yet, I don't know if people follow what's going on or even watch the news, but as you saw, people were cheering and singing his music. So, the same people talk when wrestlers get released, they are so angry at Vince, and he comes out and they still cheer and sing his music. So, I don't know. Then, afterwards, we had a Riddle promo. It's the same spiel he did pretty much on Friday that he says Randy's injured, and he promised to get vengeance, and he's going to enter the Money in the Bank. And that Cody, he's going to hit Seth freaking Rollins with the ladder to the back because of what he did to Cody. This, as you know, Raw, this leads into his match with Omos. And I'm surprised Omos won Money in the Bank. I was thinking that maybe Riddle would win, but no, he didn't win. So I don't even know what they're going to do with Riddle at Money in the Bank. And Money in the Bank is literally a week from Saturday. So we still don't know all the participants. I don't know. I really hope Omos does not win Money in the Bank. I really hope he doesn't win. Can we all call it now? Omos wins Money in the Bank. Oh no, don't put that evil out there. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. I am so glad I'm not going to Money in the Bank. I really am. And to think, I was considering going to Money in the Bank. I had my hotel booked. The only thing I needed to do was buy my tickets and my flight. But I didn't. And now I'm really happy that I'm not going. I'll be watching at home like the rest of you guys. So after that match, Seth Rollins, who was watching the match, comes out and he cheap shots Riddle. And then he cuts a whole promo saying how, Riddle is an ultimate loser because he lost Randy, he lost a title match, and now he lost Money in the Bank. And he says that no one in Money in the Bank will be able to defeat Reigns. He's not wrong there. Actually, we haven't seen all of the participants, but I'm pretty sure Seth Rollins is right about that. He said that Rollins goes on to say that he will find that he isn't nurturing Riddle, and then Riddle attacks him, and then he curb stomps Riddle. I don't want it, and I know WWE is going to pull that. Watch Omos be undisputed. How is he going to be undisputed Universal Champion? I would be extremely surprised and amazed if Omos is the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. I really would be. Okay. So then we get a Theory promo, which I disliked completely. He was basically talking about how he's the chosen one. He's not wrong there. And the new face of WWE, well, he's somewhat wrong there because Roman is still technically the face, but they're already starting to build Theory up to that. So I would not be surprised. Carmella coming back and now getting a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. I'm like, why? So he says that nobody else is on his level and nobody can touch him. He says that Cena's time is up and that his time is now. And that he embarrassed Lashley last week. And then he has an invitational pose down. Why? And basically Bobby Lashley appears and like he says he attacks Theory, thank God. And it's like a backstage, Theory says that if Lashley wants a title shot, he has to survive a gauntlet match tonight. So if Omos defeats Roman, I'm going to be sick. You're not the only one. Oh, God. Okay, so afterwards we get the Usos, an Uso promo, basically saying that they're undisputed tag team champions and that they hold all the gold and that they will smash Street Profits at Money in the Bank. And, like, at least they appear on Raw, unlike Roman, who hasn't shown up to Raw in a while. So you gotta give him that much. But, like, the thing is, like, the one thing that's, like, really annoying me is that WWE always does this. They have a segment before the match, and sometimes they use that segment to lead into the match. I don't understand why sometimes we can't just have the match. Why do we have to have so many unnecessary segments? I said, we all know Vince and Bruce were in Gorilla loving when Theory was putting that baby oil on. Probably. Like, honestly, like, I'm just tired. And this led into Angelo Dawkins versus Jey Uso, with Angelo Dawkins winning the match. Wasn't a bad match, but I told you guys last week, and I'll tell you guys again. We are going to get repeat segments. This is like the Usos versus RK-Bro all over again. You're gonna have you had Jey Uso versus Angelo Dawkins this week. Last week you had Jimmy Uso versus Montez Ford. I would not be shocked if next week we have Montez Ford versus Jey Uso or Angelo Dawkins versus Jimmy Uso. I would not be surprised by that at all. We had the match is scheduled for Money in the Bank. I would not be surprised if Usos win, and this feud still continues until we exhaust every possible combination like they did with RK-Bro. It's really annoying. And then we got the segment that I actually was really excited for and was looking forward to seeing. They could have gotten as creative with this segment, and you could have had Damien Sandow pretend to be Elias. They didn't do that. You had Elias and Ezekiel backstage, and you could tell they shot this like with they had him as Elias first. So he had the fake beard. You could tell it was a fake beard. And then they shot him talking as Elias, and then they shot him talking as Ezekiel. And the whole conversation was hilarious. Like Ezekiel saying that he's glad Elias is back. Elias saying he was traveling all over the world, performing, and that he's become a changed man. And he said that Ezekiel brings up the fact that Elias had written a song by from the people in Nebraska. And I honestly thought it was a pretty funny segment. I feel like they could have gotten a little bit more creative, but it wasn't as bad or cringe. Let me see. Yeah, so the Sam tag team division right now. How good of a tag team division WWE has? A split screen. Yeah, definitely. And I just thought, I personally didn't mind this because, like, I love Elias, and I'm so happy I get to walk with Elias again. Speaking of Elias, this led into the Elias concert, and he was thanking the fans for taking care of his brother and for welcoming him back. Then, of course, before the concert even starts, Kevin Owens interrupts, basically saying he's French Canadian. He isn't fooled by like the people in Nebraska. And then Ezekiel appears on the Titantron, which obviously was pre-recorded, but it's just so hilarious. Like, KO's losing it, and he's probably going to lose it. I don't know what the end result of this is going to be, but this segment was awful. Hey, we're all entitled to our opinions. I personally liked it because I like Elias, so I was really happy. And I was kind of worried to see how they were going to pull it off, and I think they did a good job at pulling it off. But KO is still trying to convince people that Elias and Ezekiel are the same person. And even though I don't know how I would feel once this feud ends, because it's like, where does Ezekiel go from here? You know, that's my main worry, is where does Ezekiel go after this feud is over? Where does KO go after this feud is over? I don't think they planned it out entirely. Then we get the Gauntlet match. So remember, Bobby Lashley has to win all 3 matches in order for him to be granted a U.S. title match. So it starts off with Bobby Lashley and Chad Gable, which actually wasn't a bad match. I was actually enjoying that match, because I think it's the first time they've ever faced each other, and really good match. I had no problem with Bobby Lashley versus Chad Gable. I also didn't have a problem with Bobby Lashley versus Otis. Of course, after Bobby Lashley defeated Chad Gable, which he won by submission, he won his match against Otis by DQ, and then he got suffered a post beatdown by Alpha Academy. The last person in this gauntlet was, in fact, Theory. He tried to take advantage of this situation, but it actually was not enough. Bobby Lashley ended up being victorious in the gauntlet. So now we're going to get Theory versus Bobby Lashley at Money in the Bank. I believe at Money in the Bank for the United States title. So, you know, like I said, my only favorite part of that gauntlet was Lashley versus Chad Gable. Not a bad match. Then we get MiTB versus AJ Styles. And again, typical WWE using this segment to lead into the match. Let me see. Gauntlet match is a way of WWE saying, we don't got nothing else planned for the show, so let's fill the 3 hours with the gauntlet match. See, these gauntlet matches are overdone. Yeah, they are. And basically the MizTV segment was Miz bringing up AJ's recent failures and using him as an example to show people what a failure looks like. Quick note, I don't know if you guys watched Impact or watched Slammiversary last night. Very great pay-per-view, by the way. AJ Styles actually had an appearance. Well, I don't want to say he made a physical appearance, but he appeared through a video message congratulating Slam of Impact on 20 years of Impact. And of course, he talked about his match with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels in 2005. So if you haven't watched Slammiversary, that's one thing that happened that was the talk of the town. But back to the MizTV segment. So Ciampa attacks AJ Styles, and we get Ciampa versus AJ Styles, which actually was not a bad match. It wasn't a bad match. AJ Styles won. But where are they going with Ciampa? I mean, originally he was rumored to join Judgment Day. I guess he scrapped those plans. And now it seems like he's doing this is all a dirty work. He attacked Mustafa Ali. He seems to be attacking people that Miz has a problem with. Is this going to lead to anything? Or is this even is it all just a coincidence that this is happening? I'm very curious. Seriously, because every time Miz has a problem with someone, here goes Ciampa attacking them, and it leads into a match. Ciampa is buried. I think he's only lost 2 of his matches, though. I saw Styles Kurt Angle shot these promos for Impact. I will not say that word, Michael. Then we get a Veer Mahaan promo. Actually, Veer can actually talk. I'm impressed. So he really is in the Great Khali 2.0. That goes to Omos. But he basically comes up with Fear Veer, hashtag Fear Veer. That I'll give it a week before that's a hashtag. But he actually can talk, and I'm very curious to see what they continue to do with Veer. He's dominant and he can talk. So I actually think that's a great combination. And if booked correctly, I think he can be a champion someday. Obviously, work his way up to world title. I don't think he would face Roman anytime soon, but I do think he could become a title contender at some point. And then in the main event, it was women's Money in the Bank qualifying match, Asuka versus Becky. It was a good match. We've seen this match before multiple times. I think we even saw it like 2 weeks ago. It's a great match. Asuka won. So I'm really happy this match had a good, clean finish, and it didn't have what Drew McIntyre and Sheamus had on Friday Night SmackDown, where they both end in DQ and then they both get put in Money in the Bank. Good, clean finish. So I didn't mind that. But we've seen this match before. We've seen it before. And I really I don't know. I think Veer needs a mouthpiece. Really? You think that? I disagree, but hey, we're all entitled to agree and disagree with stuff. Right? And that's basically how Monday Night Raw ended. Okay. So, based on everything, I liked the AJ Styles match with Ciampa. I like Lashley versus Chad Gable. And I like those spots in the women's match. I like 3 things. And out of the whole show, just 3 little things. Seriously. I'm just going to be generous. And I'm going to give Monday Night Raw a 4 out of 10. But that's just me being generous. Because this show could have easily given it a 1 or a 0. But I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Again, like I said, it was a good main event, but we just seen it before. If it was the first time in months that we hadn't seen this match, okay, but we've seen it before. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.